Welcome to the show. I have had the wildest week that I can imagine with clients. So many people trying to find their balance, trying to find their center in things that are happening within the world, things that are happening within their own personal lives. So I want to talk a bit today about finding your center. I'm going to take some callers. I want to be able to support you in finding some strategies when life feels a little bit rocky or a little bit gritty. I am a trauma therapist as well as a psychic medium. So I support people all over the world in creating their favorite lives, in letting go of old stories, old limiting beliefs, in finding their balance. I'm always careful to use that word balance because there is no such real thing in this human existence as balance. But finding our center, finding our way of existing where we trust ourselves, where we know that regardless of what happens, we are okay. That we know that any challenge is actually for our highest and greatest good, which that theory alone, that understanding alone, that anything that happens is happening for us, not to us, and is for our highest and greatest good, allows us to come back to center every time. So that even though things will throw us off kilter, and even though challenges will happen in our lives, we are never completely blindsided and never completely thrown crumbling and falling apart. So I absolutely want to talk into that today. I want to pull a little card first. Honor your beauty. This is the third time I've pulled this card today. So this is around honoring your inner and external beauty, not in a superficial way, but very much in, as I'm talking, I'm hearing the beauty of peace, the beauty of inner sanctuary, the beauty of connection, and the beauty of showing up authentically, who you are, as you are, in the ways that make you feel truly yourself. Okay, so when we're talking about finding our center, some strategies that are really helpful are to understand that if you don't have clarity on something, it's not that you've missed it. So sometimes we get a bit off balance because I don't know what's happening next, and I don't know why this situation has happened, and I don't know what to do with it because I'm not getting any information, I'm not getting any clarity, no one's helping me. Remind yourself that if you don't have clarity in that situation, you aren't meant to, and that you will figure it out as you go. One of my favorite things to remind myself is I will figure it out as I go. That stops you needing to have all the answers because none of us has all of the answers. And it stops that disconnect of either sitting in the past or trying to rush into the future. So I will figure it out as I go is a really beautiful way to center yourself. Also, physical acts of centering. So getting barefoot in the dirt, hugging a tree, all of those things that sound really woo-woo, but are incredibly powerful for our energy. So physically grounding yourself, taking a few moments to check your breath and be more intentional about your breath. But I find that finding that center and that balance often comes from checking where our inner dialogue is jumping off to and bringing yourself back into, okay, even though I don't know this situation, I trust myself and I trust that I will work through this and I'll figure it out as I go. Okay, we're going to take some callers. Lindsay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm so great, thank you. Do you have questions you want to ask?
I just need some clarity.
Is there particular things or just clarity on anything happening in your life?
Clarity on anything happening in my life right now.
Clarity, beautiful. Okay, sorry, I was waiting for some particular things, but that's absolutely okay. I love to go rogue, as does the spirit realm. So let me just connect in with what's coming through for you. I'm feeling this sense of, I don't want to say anxiousness because it's not anxiousness, but it's a sense of unease. And that's been, the way they're showing me, it's sort of been coming in waves for you over the last year and a half, 2 years, these sort of waves of unease. And then you're a little bit settled, and then there's like another wave of, oh, this doesn't feel how I want to feel, or this isn't how I intended for things to go, is what I just heard. This is not how I intended for things to go. What they're asking you to do in those times where it just feels a little bit like, this isn't how I intended it, this is not what I was wanting, to remind yourself of what you've been through and where you've come from and where you are now. Because they're showing me 6 years ago was so vastly different for you than it is now. And you're forgetting how much you've achieved and how different your life is now than what it was 6 years ago, and how different you are now than what you were 6 years ago. 6 years ago, there was more hesitation, there was more uncertainty, there was more waiting for others, whereas now you're a lot more certain in your own energy, you're a lot more fearless in the things that you're doing. So because of this fearlessness that you've developed, they're saying that things will begin to shift in your external world. I know that you're a little frustrated that they haven't shifted as much as you wanted already, but they just couldn't, because all of the puzzle had to come together. I know you're like, oh, I've done all this work and it should have happened by now, which so many are feeling at the moment. And for some people, things are happening really quickly. And for other people like you, it's like just little dribs and drabs of things that is not coming in quickly. But they want to remind you that 6 years ago, where you were and where you are now is so vastly different that it can't help but change in your physical world, because of all of the inner changes that you've had, because of how intentional you are now about showing up for yourself and taking care of yourself and honoring yourself more, because you have stronger boundaries, because you are more certain of the direction that you want to head in without having control of it. The external world is shifting. So February, there's a big change coming in February. And then August next year is like an evening out of everything, where it all just feels so much lighter and so much more peaceful and so much more playful. So with that change coming in February, that's what you've been hoping for. That's the significant change that you've been waiting for. That's then kind of the catalyst for everything else. And by August, it's so much calmer and so much more peaceful. What they're asking for you is, I'm just going to ask it how they're saying it. What does peace look like for you now?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, now I understand why they've asked that, because they want you to get clear on what peace looks like, not the external world, because we don't have much control over the external world, but what does peace look like within yourself and within your little world as much as possible, but mostly within yourself. How do you? I just spoke about this before I started speaking to you, about coming back into your center and finding your own peace. What does that look like for you? How do you do that? Because these changes coming, and they're really, really positive changes. So no fear around this. These are really positive changes coming in next year for you. Because of these changes that are coming in, you want to be able to receive them peacefully and easily. It's like, oh, thank you so much. The way they're showing me is like receiving a Christmas gift, and instead of it having 100 layers of paper, wrapping paper, and it's hard to get into and too much tape, it's I can just open it really easily and receive it really easily. So the way that you'll be able to receive your blessings easily is to get very, very clear on what does peace mean to you, what does it look like to you, and how do you get back there. So literally write down, what is peace for me? How do I feel when I'm peaceful? How does it look to me? And then what are my tools to be able to keep bringing myself back to that peaceful place?
Okay.
You deserve it.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling right now, so I'm not at peace. So
I know you are. I know, my love, and I don't want to be condescending in telling you that you've got to find that. What your team is trying to do is let you know that it is changing. That you have been through so much. I can feel the heaviness of it, and I can feel that the rug keeps getting pulled out from under you just when you think it's going to be okay, and it doesn't seem like it is. But it's been this incredible soul expansion, and the peace is coming, but they're asking you to trust that you can find that within yourself, even when everything doesn't look that way. They're not asking you to be happy and fake everything's great. That's bypassing, and that's not what's happening here. It's just, even when it doesn't look how I want it to look, even where I haven't got to where I want to be, I can find little moments of peace, and I trust that I will be okay. I don't know if you heard what I was talking about before you jumped on, but maybe go and listen to it afterwards, because this is exactly what I was talking about before you jumped on. There's so many blessings coming, and it's going to feel unbelievable, but also a little bit like, whoa, because it's been so challenging for you for years now. And they're just asking you to be able to just have even those little moments of, I know it's changing and I'm okay, and choosing to be peaceful. You don't have to feel like that all day, every day, but they're asking you to find those little moments to come back to that, so that as these blessings come in, you can receive them easily and you're not sort of still stuck in that survival mode that you've been in for a while. They're also showing me a stronger person around you in your close-knit people, whether it's family or friend. They're a strong person. So, like their personality is strong, they're strong. Spend a bit of time just debriefing with them about the walls that you feel that you keep hitting. Like, oh, I feel like I'm making progress, and then it's like I keep hitting this wall. I'm just not getting where I want to be. Talk to them about it, because they're going to give you a bit of a different perspective, which is really helpful and really beautiful.
Yeah, I've actually been doing that, and it's like, everyone has something completely different to say to me, and it's like, that's where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like,
so the person that I'm talking about, you know who that is?
I'm sorry?
The person that I was talking about, do you know who that is that I'm talking about, the strong person? Like, they've got a really strong mindset. They're just a really, like, you look at them and go, yeah, they're a really strong person.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you do. You know who it is.
And they're the one that's kind. Yeah, and they're the ones that's like, okay, Lindsay, like, it's okay. Like, this could happen or that could happen. Like, you just need to be stronger with that.
That's absolutely it. So they're the person that I want you taking that support from and that guidance from. Don't seep your energy out and your trust out all over the place, because everyone's giving you differing stuff. You know yourself really well. You've been through so much. But when we're exhausted and when we've been through a lot, it's really hard to hear our own intuition and our own guidance. So this person's incredible for you to just rebalance and go, hang on, exactly what you're saying resonates with me, which means I already know it and I already trust it. So they're just going to kind of mirror that back to you. And it's like hearing your own intuition when you can't hear it yourself. So please trust them. They're your guidance at the moment. And they're guiding you so beautifully, because they're literally like, you're okay. Trust that you're okay, because it is changing so, so beautifully. I know I said August is when it evens out, but there's so much more incredible stuff before August. It's just that August is when you're finally like, okay, now it feels incredible in so many areas in my life, but there's blessing after blessing coming in for you before that. This process at the moment is all about finding your center and trusting yourself.
Okay.
All right, my love, write down those things that I talked about, because that's going to help you so much too, because you can keep coming back to that and referring to that.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Take care. Hi, Sheila. Is it Sheila? Sheila? Sorry, not wearing my glasses.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, love. Hi. How can I help you? Do you have questions for your team?
Can you just like maybe tell me like what you get? Like, if there's something important? Like,
yeah, you're happy for me just to go through? Yeah, sure, can do. Okay, so the first word that came through is transformation. So are you ready to go through a transformation, or have you just come through it? It feels a bit of both. It feels like you've just been through one sort of transformation, but there's other things that you're ready to transform within your physical life. So it feels like you've been through this sort of emotional transformation and releasing some things, and you're ready to go through this physical transformation in your life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, what's the hesitation with going through this next step, with going through this like physical transformation, doing things differently, having yourself look different and feel different, and having your life look different and feel different? What are you worried about?
What's that? I'm kind of an awkward person.
Okay, I'm so happy you said this. Is so beautiful, because That is part of what.
Pardon, sorry.
Sorry, my love. That is part of what makes you you. That's part of what makes you incredible. And you leaning into that and loving that part of yourself is actually going to help you feel completely different about every other area of your life. What you see as awkwardness, what you perceive as awkwardness, is actually so endearing and so beautiful and will attract in the soul connections that you're hoping for, and attract in the support that you're craving and the different life that you're trying to get to by actually just embracing it and embodying it. Rather than seeing it as awkwardness, can you reframe it and maybe just see it as uniqueness or something different, whatever word feels great to you?
Okay. I did make a YouTube channel. And it seemed like when I made it, I kind of lost everybody in my life.
Okay. The reason, yeah.
So because a lot of my family are Christian, a lot of my neighbors are Christian, and most of my friends. So when I did the YouTube channel, I guess it kind of showed that I was into the metaphysical. So it's they started seeing me differently, and it's I kind of lost everybody too.
I'm so sorry. That's so hard. And I've been there. And as soon as I started talking to you, I was like, oh, it's a similar path. I've been there where so many people did a mass exit out of my life, and things changed really drastically. And you can feel that grief for that, because it is really hard when people don't accept you for who you are. But the reason I said to you before is the more you show up as you in your beautiful uniqueness, because you are really unique, but there's magic in that. That's really important, as am I, as all of us in our own way, but you have this beautiful way of expressing your uniqueness. That's why I said the more you step into it and just show up in that way, it allows your soul connections to come in. The people that you're craving, who see you and get you, and who understand your humor, who understand your interests, who understand your passions. But what happens is, if we are ready to align with those soul connections, because they're all in our vortex already, we're just waiting for them to come in. If we're ready for them, what happens is people, places, things that are in our vortex that are not aligned and don't understand us and don't value us will have to move out and clear space. So that's what's happened. I know it feels like grief and a massive loss, and please feel that, but don't stay in it. Because what's happened is, it's just, if you think of it like we all have this vortex around us of all of the things that are already for us: abundant money, soul partners, soul connections, all experiences that are for us. They're all in that vortex. And sometimes they just can't reach us physically because there's other things in the way in that vortex. So if there are people who are not understanding you and not in alignment, the universe will encourage you to do things like start YouTube channels, so that those people will start moving out of alignment, so that the people who are meant for you can come into your world. This doesn't mean people have to completely be out of your world, but they may just take a step back in your life. You may not be as close with them, or the connection might just shift a little bit. It's actually a blessing. I know it feels really, really hard, but it allows the people who really understand you and don't judge you and are interested in the same stuff. So you've got people that you can spend time with talking about what you love, because you are craving that. As soon as I start that feeling of talking about what you love, I get this nervous rush, but it's also so energizing and I just want to talk about what I love so much, and I just want to be doing what I love, and I just want to you're someone who deep dives into things that you love. You're not a surface level person with any.
I actually have dreams where I deep dive. I literally, in my dreams,
I'm being shown you in the ocean.
Dive.
That's how I'm being shown you in the ocean.
Yeah, in my dreams, it's in a pool. And sometimes if I'm scared, I even have dreams where I go to the edge and I'm ready to jump, and then I'm just hanging on for my life, so I can't jump. So then,
Can I show
like,
you?
actually, my dog will like trick me. He'll jump, and then I'll jump to make sure he's safe. And then, like, say if we're on a boardwalk, like he'll go to jump over the boardwalk, but instead he goes under. And then, of course, like, I'm not gonna let my dog jump in and not make sure he's okay. So I just jump right in after him to make sure he's okay. So he's kind of like tricking me to dive deep in the dream world.
I love that's how they're showing it to you, of like, you have to just do, you have to follow this. Like, don't. So with your dog, it's that perfect example of like, overcome the fears, because you know this is important. Like, you're not going to let your dog drown, so overcome the fears, jump into this. This is what they're trying to show you, like, overcome the fears and just jump in like you would with your dog. That's so beautiful. The way they're showing me is you in an infinity pool, and the infinity pool, at the edge of the infinity pool is the ocean, which is obviously where you can deep dive. In the ocean, you get to find all of the other deep divers, all of the other people who like crave knowledge and crave depth and can't do surface level. There's like a kiddie pool, then an infinity pool, and then the ocean. And you've gone through, you're in the pool now, you've done the surface level kiddie pool. You don't even sit there. You don't hang out with people who are just sitting in the surface level. You're at the edge of the pool ready to go, but there's that fear, and you just need to jump as though your dog was jumping into the ocean. And what I mean by that in a practical sense is share yourself fully. That's how you find the people who are also deep divers. That's how you find the people who have the capacity, I'm just going to say it how they're saying it, have the capacity to understand your humor, to understand your wit, to understand your beauty, and to understand your depth. And this is something you have craved this entire life, not just this lifetime, past lifetimes as well, but this is something that has been missing for you in this lifetime. And there's this ache of, I so want this. Like, I just want to be me, and I want to have these incredible conversations, and I want to be able to sit up till 2 a.m. discovering things about new topics that I'm excited about. That's why they're showing you those. That's an amazing dream. That's why they're showing them to you. The other thing I want to talk to you about is your lucid dreams that you're having, but also talk to me about visions. Please tell me that you've started having visions, or that you just kind of go, why is that picture popping up in my mind?
I'm starting to now. Like, for instance, if I'm going to walk my dog, like if I'm going to, like if there's someplace I go to walk my dog, like every day, like sometimes like I'll see a picture of my dog lying on the ground, so I won't walk that way, and then everything's okay. And then sometimes, like if I go to walk up the street, I'll feel like a nip on my leg, so like I'll take another road, like things, or even like within myself, like if I go to judge the situation, I'll see a vision of myself like maybe 20, 30 years back when I was making the same mistake. So then I won't judge that situation. I'll say, okay, well, yeah, like I used to look at things like that, and like I grew, so I shouldn't judge, like things like that.
Wow. Yeah, that's so beautiful. So you've got, your clairvoyance is really strong. So you've got more visions coming in. The way that they love working with you is through visuals, because you're a learner by nature. You love learning, but the visual stuff really helps you. So they're going to be sending you more clairvoyance images coming through dreams and through day-to-day life. I love that you're trusting it so greatly and following it, because it means that they can start connecting and sending you more of those. The other thing that they're showing me, how beautifully you do that now without self-judgment. Like they'll show you 10 years ago or 15 years ago and how much you've changed and how much you've expanded and evolved. And I'm really proud of you for not looking at that with judgment, because sometimes when people reflect on their past, there's a self-criticism there or self-judgment, and they want to give you credit for you really are looking at everything, yourself and other people, with more compassion. So they're asking you to bring that same compassion in with the family and the friends that don't understand you and don't understand the things that you are drawn to. Just offer compassion, even if you don't have to say it to them. Just sit with compassion and go, okay, we are in different spaces in our lives, in our evolutions, in our hearts. We are in different spaces. I understand that, and I wish you well. That's going to help so much in alleviating the grief that you've been feeling and the frustration that you've been feeling. Compassion is the answer to this.
Okay. Yeah. At first, I was like really hurt, and well, I still do hurt, but it's eased up. And then it was like angry. I was like, well, forget
Yeah.
about them if they want to be like that. But now it's like that. Like that's what I do. Like I always say, like I just want the best for them. Like
Beautiful.
maybe they've hurt me a lot, but I wish no harm. Like I just want the best for them.
Beautiful. And that anger and that grief and that hurt is important. We are absolutely meant to be feeling all of that. I'm a trauma therapist as well as a psychic medium, and I'm a big advocate for acknowledging what's actually going on. Otherwise, we are just bypassing and avoiding. So feeling that anger, feeling that hurt, feeling that grief is absolutely really important. But as you are ready to be able to come to a place of compassion, it doesn't mean that you still don't feel hurt around it. We are entitled to feel hurt, but to come back to that place of compassion so that for your sake, so that you're able to move forward. I want you to keep speaking up. I want you to keep doing your YouTube channel, keep doing the things that are a lighthouse, a beacon for the people who are your soul connections to find you. You are incredible. Please know that. I know that you're starting to feel that more and more. Trust that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You've got this. Trust yourself and enjoy the process of showing up as you in all your beautiful ways.
Oh, thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. All right, my loves, gorgeous show. I know the next couple of weeks are going to, I may even talk about this next week, but I know the next couple of weeks with all the sessions that I'm doing are really going to be about bringing people back into a centered place, because next year, as changes come in, we want to be able to move into our lives very, very differently, with more freedom, with more peace, with more inner contentment, regardless of what's happening. So thank you for an incredible show. I'm all over socials, the Psychic Psych, Jax Potter, if you want to connect, and have a beautiful, beautiful evening.